Hi guys, it's Melissa from Special Ed Low Mom, and my daughter's in the background just moaning. Um, I am happy to be on here and hopefully be doing more videos regularly. Today, I wanted to do a brief video about the Office of Civil Rights. And let me tell you, Office of Civil Rights is a great office. They have different regional offices throughout the country. So, depending on where you live, your letter or communication to them will go to a different place. Where I live, it goes to Denver. Um, and the Office of Civil Rights deals specifically with the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, both of which have to do with discrimination. And it's not just an education office, because they also deal with things beyond education, housing, I believe, and employment and other things. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to talk about education. So, the Office of Civil Rights, like I said, enforces the ADA and Section 504 of the Rehab Act. And they work a little bit differently. If you're familiar with IDEA, which you should be from watching this channel, IDEA has its own procedural safeguards where you can file a state complaint, you can have a facilitated meeting, you can go to mediation, or you can file for a due process hearing and go through all of that. With the Office of Civil Rights, you have 180 days after you know or should have known that, I think it's know or should have known, or that you became aware. I have to look that one up. But it's a 180-day window of time to file a complaint with them if you feel that either 504 or ADA has been violated. And you can file a complaint online. I have filed a number of them. Um, Trust me when I say that at our due process hearing, there was a pile of them on the table. And the attorney there for the school system said that I used them as a weapon. Kind of a nice way to make mom look bad, exercising my rights. Um, but I will tell you about one that I filed that actually made a change, at least temporarily. So you file online and then, or you can send them the document that you can file. And you don't want to send anything yet with it. You don't want to send a laundry list of exhibits or anything. And what I have learned through the years is you want to make it very precise. We as special ed families love to tell a story. And if you're familiar with, I'll plug it again, Pete Wright and his books, he talks all about the letter to a stranger, or I think it's the letter to a stranger. If you found a letter on the street, would you be able to pick it up and know what happened without much further of an explanation? Well, OCR doesn't want that. They don't want, and then I sat in this meeting, and then I did this, and then Johnny did this. They don't want that. They want to know what was violated, how was it violated. So, using an example of a playground for sake of argument, the school has a playground that all the children can use except those in wheelchairs because it's not wheelchair accessible. And then you would cite the citation under ADA that goes with that and send it off to them. And then what happens is they have someone look at it and they decide if they want to open an investigation. So they will usually call you and they will have plan a little bit of time for that. It's not the time to be in the car driving carpool. And they will want to know what information you have to support your claims. Um, You'll ask specifically for that. So make sure you have everything organized so that you can just flip through. I am finding in my life that a binder system works well, but just have everything organized so that you can have an educated conversation when you talk to them, because then they're going to ask you to send them all of the documentation that supports what you're claiming. And then if they decide to open an investigation, then they contact the school system and they basically let the school system know that they need to disprove what you're saying? Do they have anything that can disprove all of these exhibits that you have? And it can take a while. I have heard of people it taking, 2 years for an OCR complaint. Um, I have heard that they have a new system where you can do a speedy route. I can't think of the name of it, but I believe it's on the form if you're interested in doing this speedy proposal. And that basically means that you're pushed into mediation with the school system and you try to resolve it quickly with them. And I think it's like a 30 or 60-day timeline for that. Um, and that might work well for you. There are some people that get a little panicked because I've heard if it doesn't work or you don't solve it, then you get a notice of that your complaint has been canceled or something to that effect. But then it's not really, they just issue you a new number and start where they should have started 2 months ago. So I'll give you the example that I did that was successful, and then hopefully that will give you a better idea. So my oldest, was in elementary school, and the school was near our home, but she rode the bus, a special ed bus. And one day she showed up on the porch, and as I was opening the front door, I heard the school bell ringing up the hill. And I was thinking, how did she get home this fast? They're not even out of school yet. And so I started watching and picking her up. And what I saw was they were putting all the special ed kids on the bus early. They were ending their school day early and getting them on the bus and getting them out of the parking lot. That wasn't okay with me. These kids deserve the same length of day as anyone else. Why should they be pulled out of the classroom to get on the bus if there's, even if there isn't something going on? Why should their school day be shortened? And so I began asking questions. I actually was given an email. Not don't remember how I got it, whether it was sent to me or I came across it somehow, where the principal had said that they did that because it made the parking lot situation less stressful for all the regular parents because they didn't have to fight the buses and the cars at the same time. Well, I'm sorry, that's not okay with me. If you didn't design your school parking lot to facilitate all the students, then deal with it because they should not have a shorter day. And I found out that that was illegal for them to have a shorter day. And nobody seemed to care that I was upset about this. And so I filed a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights about shortening the school day. And they contacted me and they wanted to know what documentation I had. And I had that email or memo or something from the principal stating why they did it and that this had been a long-standing thing that they had done. And I submitted that, and the Office of Civil Rights opened a formal investigation. And not only did they open a formal investigation, but they came to our school district for 3 days. They sent someone from Denver who flew out and was at our school system for 3 days investigating. And I'm sure that went over really well. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the investigation, which didn't take very long, I got a letter that the school system had been put on notice that it was not okay to do that, that they were not to do that anymore, and they were in a 3-year probationary period with doing that. And you would think that they would learn to stop. Um, what I found that they did over time was they still loaded the kids in the bus early, but they kept them at the school. And then when the bell rang, they would let the buses go. So they still did. And we came up with the joke at that time, that there was an announcement is in the parking lot, if I ever pulled up because they knew that I was watching stuff like that. Um, Sadly, I have seen this continue. This was, well, my daughter's in college now. So this was 18 years ago, 15 years ago. And I've seen it continue. I've seen the special ed buses leave early. I've seen them load the kids early. I've seen them give accommodations where they let them out of class early. And it's not the fight that I can have. Again, there's plenty of other battles out there. But it is illegal for them to do that. And it is a violation of those laws to shorten their school day. Um, so that is how the Office of Civil Rights works. It can be effective. I know there are some advocates online that say it's much more effective than a state complaint or filing due process. The one thing I will tell you is you cannot file the same issue both with the state and the feds because you can only have one in place at a time. So, um, if you're going to do, they don't do a FAPE complaint with OCR, but if you're going to do something that might overlap, you have to choose your lane. You either have to choose OCR or your state because they won't hear them at the same time. And I'm not sure how successful things are if you try to do one after the other. If one didn't prevail, if you try the other route, I'm not sure. So, if you want to know more about OCR or how to file a complaint, just Google Office of Civil Rights and there will be a website that you can go to. There's also a way to look up in your state um, where they have open investigations. I'll try to put a link for that below. And it's just a powerful tool where it's outsiders coming in versus sometimes I feel like the state and the school system, they go to lunch, they know each other, they're friends, and they aren't as hard on each other as they maybe should be. And OCR is an outside party. So I hope that that helps. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. And until next time, make it a great day. Thanks. Bye.